Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Liz Fitzgerald, and I am the library director and also the special assistant to the township manager for public affairs. I'm so happy that everyone could be here today to join us for this celebration of the rehabilitation and improvements to the playground here at Roslyn Park. Roslyn Park is one of our biggest and, as you can see, busiest parks here in Abington. And we have been able to recently invest $225,000 into the improvements for Roslyn Park, and we are just so thrilled to have everyone here celebrating that today, and in particular thanking the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Community Development Block Grants that made this improvement possible. So I'd like to welcome our guests here today. We have, on behalf of Congresswoman Madeline Dean, we have Dave Corrigan. Laura Restrepo is here on behalf of Senator John Fetterman. Our Housing and Urban Development Regional Administrator, Matthew Heckles, is here joining us today. State Representative Nancy Gentz's office has Megan Griffin-Shelley. State Representative Ben Sanchez's office, we have on behalf of that office, Morgan Selkirk. Senator Art Haywood is here represented by Tyrone Manning today. We have Abington Commissioner Lori Schreiber. Township Manager for Abington Township, Richard Manfredi, is here as well. Our Parks and Recreation Director, Jessica Tholey, and our Director of Community Development, Kim Ham. Thank you to all of you for all of the work that you have done in bringing us together here today to celebrate this beautiful park. And as we get going here, I would just like to first welcome to the podium Commissioner Lori Schreiber. In 2022, the Board of Commissioners for Abington Township approved the Recreation, Parks, and Open Space Plan. And one of the goals for that plan was to improve the accessibility, inclusivity, and safety of our parks here in Abington. And I would like to thank Commissioner Schreiber and all of the Board of Commissioners, as well as our Township Manager, Richard Manfredi, in making that investment and making our parks a real destination for our community members here. So, Commissioner Schreiber.
Thank you, everybody. I want to again welcome, even though you were already just welcomed, I'm welcoming you again because this is the area right across from where my ward begins. Roslyn is a very big, vibrant area. The park here is one of the best pieces of the Roslyn area, and I'm one of the longest serving commissioners. In that role from the very beginning, one of the things that I kept hearing about is how people wanted our parks to be improved. And so I'm so thrilled that we were finally able to make that happen. If you just, I'm going to turn my back here on everybody, but I want you to see how beautiful it looks. The playground equipment, which was so badly needed to be updated, is just such an improvement. I have gotten so many residents have called me, or when they see me in passing, have told me how much they enjoy this new area of the park. The old equipment was kind of falling apart, and now we have this nice, beautiful area to enjoy. So anybody watching this who is not here today, please come and please enjoy this new equipment with your friends and family and the park as a whole. Thank you again for being here, and welcome to Roslyn.
Thank you, Commissioner Schreiber. I'd next like to welcome up Dave Corrigan on behalf of Congresswoman Madeline Dean. Congresswoman Dean has been an ardent supporter of HUD grant funding and a huge supporter of Abington Township, and we could not have done this work without the federal grant dollars that have gone into the improvements. So thank you so much, and Dave.
Thank you. I'm Dave Corrigan, Community Director, Director of Community Outreach for Congresswoman Madeline Dean. She regrets that she's not able to attend today, but she did want me to pass along her regards. The Congresswoman has the honor of bringing federal dollars to the districts, not only through normal appropriations, but also through her role as a regional leadership representative for the Regional Leadership Council. From Pennsylvania to Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia, she represents the Regional Leadership Council in assisting communities like Abington in getting these kinds of federal dollars. So it's great to see that this has come to fruition. It's also personal to me as a father of two young daughters, having somewhere in our neighborhoods to bring the kids these increases in the parks, not just in numbers, but in quality, is great for folks like us. And also, I used to work for Abington Parks Department, so it is near and dear to my heart to see all of these improvements after all of these years. So happy to be a part of that, and the Congresswoman is very happy to be a part of that as well. Abington has been a great example for municipalities around the county and around our district on what it looks like to be at the forefront of getting these funds and improving our neighborhoods and our parks. And I'm proud to be an Abington resident, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dave. I'd also just like to take a minute to recognize Abington Commissioner John Spiegelman, who has also joined us here today. I am going to introduce our Director of Community Development, Kimberly Ham, who is going to do the introduction for our next speaker.
Good morning. I have the pleasure of working with HUD through the CDBG program every day for the last 3.5 years. Part of that pleasure is working with a really dynamic and engaged regional administrator in Matthew Heckles. He was presidentially appointed about 2.5 years ago, and since then he's really made it a point to get CDBG funded projects out into the public so that everyone knows how important these projects are. And with that, I will introduce Matthew Heckles.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Everyone back here. So, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. On behalf of President Biden, Vice President Harris, and Acting Secretary Todman, it's just a real pleasure to be with you here today. I want to thank the leadership of the city and Kim, your work, and the Department of Community Development and your team for all the hard work that went into getting this done. A special thank you to Congresswoman Dean and Senator Fetterman for sending representation today. Without their votes, we don't have any CDBG money to engage with our partners with. So thank you all for being here today. On June 3rd, HUD kicked off a summer-long celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Community Development Block Grant Program, CDBG. And so today I'm really proud to be on the road here today to celebrate some of the results of that history of the CDBG program here in Abington. Since CDBG was its inception in 1974, HUD has invested over $170 billion, that's with a B, $170 billion into communities all across the country, whether they be urban or suburban or rural communities. And here in Pennsylvania and across the country, the results have been remarkable. Since day one, the Biden-Harris administration has prioritized investing in communities to ensure that everyone has a great place to live. Every American has a great place to live, a community that's thriving and just, and where CDBG is spurring economic development. To that end, CDBG funds have created jobs, helped build affordable housing, funded disaster recovery efforts, and supported economic development and infrastructure projects. We've invested in people and places in which they live, work, and play. It's a very flexible program that gives communities the opportunities to respond to local needs And so we have helped families to buy a home. We have given the homeless shelter. We have built playgrounds like the one behind us today to make sure that communities are more weather resilient, something that's more important today than ever. We've helped small businesses get launched. We've built roads, police stations, fire halls, libraries, and senior centers, and even things like stormwater management and making our drinking water cleaner. Right here in Abington, you use CDBG to build this park, to rehabilitate this park. And I'll just take a moment to say I have 3 sons, one of whom is 8 years old. He is a playground aficionado. He would give this one an A+. Everywhere we go, he's got to try them out, and so now I know what to look for because of his guidance. The Roslyn Park is one of the township's largest parks, and with a lot of open space. You can see the fields behind us and the playgrounds, walking trails. It's about making people's lives better, especially for kids, but also the walking trails for seniors to get some exercise and have a higher quality of life. CDBG funding has been vital in allowing the township to execute its recreation plan and open space plan. The township is focused on making Abington's neighborhoods inclusive and vibrant for all of its residents. You know, it's no surprise that Money Magazine has named Abington a best place to live several times, due in large part to its nationally recognized school district, police department, fire department, healthcare facilities, and public parks. So I'll just close by saying that, you know, today I certainly convey Acting Secretary Todman's appreciation for your partnership. She commends the work that you're doing here in Pennsylvania and in Abington. And I just want to echo all of that and say congratulations and thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about how CDBG is working for people all across the country and here in Abington and Pennsylvania. Before I leave, just want to introduce Rob Ford. He is the director of our field office in Philadelphia, and certainly someone that you need to know as you continue this work here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Matthew. And thank you for being here with us today. Again, the investment that HUD has put into Abington Township through the CDBG grants has really been remarkable and has gone such a long way to improving these beautiful parks and open spaces that we have here in our township. So thank you. I would like to again bring up Kimberly Ham, the Director of Community Development. But I first just want to note that the work that Kim does is to administer these community development block grants. And over the past 5 years, nearly $1 million has gone into improving Abington's parks. And over the next 3 years, $750,000 will go into the improvements and rehabilitation of our parks and open spaces here in Abington. And none of that could be done without Kim's leadership. So Kim, thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz. It's actually 4 years that we've invested $1 million, but I'll let it slide. I'm really excited to be here celebrating this park installation. It's really been amazing how much we've been able to do. And I know it's been noted a few times, but we couldn't do it without this great team that's here with us today. I don't work in a silo. This is not a program that can be done by a single person. We have a really great team working with us in our Parks Department and our Public Works Department, at our libraries, to really help us deliver these programs. That HUD has really invested their funds here for us to be able to make these places amazing here in the township. One of the signature programs that we invest in here in Abington is our owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program. That is a program that I believe is going on its 37th year, if I look at our records accurately. We really help to keep people in their homes so that they're living in safe, healthy, vibrant communities and in safe and healthy homes to keep them safe, to keep them going, and to keep our neighborhoods as amazing as they are here in Abington. Just this year, we will have, by October 1st, which is the beginning of our new program year for CDBG, we will have rehabilitated, I believe, if my numbers are correct, we'll get to almost 16 homes that we will have brought up to code standard here in Abington Township. Thank you. So that is potentially 16 people whose roofs were leaking and causing, potential issues down the line for them that they weren't able to necessarily invest in themselves. So I'm so happy that we're able to keep residents in their homes and here in Abington to keep the strength of this community going. Additionally, here, those at home watching on TV might be able to see in the background, we have this beautiful library pop-up. We've partnered this year with the library to deliver not only really fun STEM and literacy initiatives to kids for them to participate in, but through the CARES Act and the special CDBG CB funds that came out of the CARES Act, we're able to feed 100 Abington children every single week a lunch, which they might not otherwise have access to during the summer. So we're really happy to be delivering those programs. We're so happy to be able to have the flexibility to deliver such a wide array of programs as well. So thank you all again for your partnership in making these programs happen. It's just really amazing, and it makes me proud to not just be an Abington Township employee, but an Abington Township resident as well.
Thank you, Kim. I'd finally like to introduce our Parks and Recreation Director, Jessica Foley. Jessica oversees the more than 24 parks that we have here in Abington. In Roslyn, as we've said, is one of the biggest parks. Here at Roslyn, we have a skate park. There are many soccer fields, baseball fields, a walking trail. There is so much going on here, and this is just one of the parks that we have here in Abington. So Jessica, thank you for all that you do to keep these gems up and running and operating here in Abington Township.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. This is a special moment for me as I grew up coming to this park, and my kids have come here quite often. Being an Abington Township resident as well as an employee, the Parks Department really holds a special place in my heart, as well as my family's. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about my job is it gets me out into the community. And I really get to see the work that I do, as well as the staff, as well as other departments in the township. I get to see exactly how that affects the residents of the township. So I've had the wonderful opportunity of being able to see firsthand what our work does. The parks significantly enhance people's lives, both physically and mentally. There's just so much positive that comes out of being able to be outside, being with family and friends, and enjoying the nature and parks such as what we have here and the playgrounds. It just enhances the livelihoods of everyone. So I just want to thank everyone for all of their help in making this possible. As you can see behind me, it's very well received. So I'm very, very happy to report we're going to be working with with Kim in the future, and showing that the Parks Department is moving in a great direction, and I'm hoping that everybody will continue to visit our parks. So I want to thank Kim and all of the elected officials and HUD for contributing to this and helping us make this park wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. to close, I just want to thank everyone who is here today, who made this possible. This park is beautiful. It is well loved. The playground obviously is well loved. And I would also like to thank our township manager, Richard Manfredi, who has done a lot of work in encouraging the departments here in Abington Township to work together. And when we work together, beautiful things happen. And that is exhibited here by the partnership with community development and parks and recreation and making this space improved and this beautiful new playground equipment, but it also is evident with the library pop-up in the park that's happening right now. And we've partnered with Parks and Recreation, with the library, with community development to bring these wonderful events out into the community. And so I would just like to thank everyone for your partnership on that. And also to thank Penn State Abington, who is here today, running a STEM activity, to thank the National Alliance on Mental Illness, who is here today as a part of our library pop-up in the park, and to thank community development for the free lunches that are made possible every week on Wednesdays as we travel around the township to different parks. So thank you, everyone. This has been a wonderful day celebrating all of the accomplishments that we have done together, collaboratively, collectively. There's a huge group of people here behind me who make this all possible. So thank you very much for being here and for what you've done for Abington Township and our community.